Let's talk. So you want to start a Pokemon business in 2025 and you don't really know where to go. Well, that was me a month ago, and to be honest with you, it's me right now, but I can try to help you as best I can and tell you what I've learned over the past 40 to 45-ish days. Now, in this current market, with prices being what they are and your inaccessibility to sealed product, you can't really just reach out to distributors. They're already drowning in trying to fulfill orders that they have, year-long customers or even longer, people that go back 5, 10 years even. There's just not enough product out there right now, especially not in the sealed market. It's not really a great way to go about starting a business right now. Now, obviously, you can pick up Facebook Marketplace collections or sealed product off Facebook Marketplace where the scalpers or whoever else has them, maybe people want to sell their sealed collections. But it's not a reliable way to continuously get sealed product, and eventually you're going to run into a sourcing problem or your margins are going to shrink even lower and even smaller than they already are. So it's probably not the best way to start in 2025, at least in terms of English product. Now, of course, Japanese boxes have been on the rise. People have been buying them up like crazy, and that's because there just isn't enough English out there right now. You just don't have enough product available in English, and they're more expensive. Some people just want to open packs and don't really care about the language on the front, and that is something that I have gone into, right? So as you can see here, new set, Mega Brave, we have Mega Symphonia as well. We have been dealing for the past 2 sets now in Japanese booster boxes, as well as any English that we can get our hands on. But it's hard. It's very hard to get English. Japanese is a little bit easier to get. Anybody can do it. I'll make a separate video on how to go and reach out to these Japanese sellers specifically, but it is definitely a way to go. Now, the problem with that is where you're going to sell these Japanese boxes. Are you going to buy them, get them shipped over, pay the shipping, and then sell them on Facebook Marketplace? Maybe. Probably not. It's pretty hard to do that. When I first got my first set, I did try, and it's just not a great place. Say you have a website, you want to list your product on there, whether it's sealed product and it's Japanese. That is a solution, but then you run into the next problem, and that next problem is, how are you going to drive traffic to that website? If you're someone who doesn't have any following, doesn't plan on doing any sort of content creation, doesn't go out to vend shows, and just wants to make a website and list products, it's probably not going to work for you. It no longer works that way. There's far too many people. The market is far too saturated. You're going to have to think a little bit outside the box and get a little bit more creative. Sure, Japanese booster boxes are definitely a cheaper barrier to entry, and they will almost certainly sell. This is actually one of my 2 last boxes from the order that I placed. I may just have to order more, or I'll just have to wait for the English set and hope that I can get my hands on any of that, which is honestly highly unlikely unless I hit a pre-order randomly, right? I have cultivated a small little buyer's circle, people that are interested and know that they can get sealed product from me, especially those Japanese boxes, very, very soon after the release date. So I have been able to sell my boxes, but if you're going to buy them, you have to be able to sell them. That's the whole point, right? If you're going to buy them and pick them up at $60 to $80 and they're going for $95 market, which is like the average Japanese booster box price, you have to have someone to sell it to. Otherwise, they're going to sit there, they're going to drop in price until they go up again, if they go up again, and you're just going to have dead inventory sitting there. And you say you just put in a $1,000 order over to a guy in Japan and he ships you stuff over. Then you're $1,000 out in the hole. Sure, you have your product, but you can't sell it to anybody. So it's effectively meaningless, right? It depends how you want to proceed with your business, and that's fine. You can sell sealed, you can sell singles. If you can't sell sealed, that leaves us with singles. Is selling singles profitable right now? Well, it always can be. That you have to find the right places and the right way to do it. And you have to figure out a way to pick up these singles at a price that makes sense. Because if you're going to pick up singles at 90% market, and then you're going to go and turn around and sell it on eBay or TCG Player where they take 10 to 15% fees, you're going to be out money before you even put the thing in the box, which is not the way to go. So, are eBay and TCG Player viable selling options? Well, they are, yes. Especially when you're first starting out, I think they are some of the most useful resources available to you. You basically pay those fees and they end up being marketing for you in a way. I think what's important is being able to bring a small percentage of your sellers from these websites to your own website or your own business, whatever your brand may be. And I say a small percentage because you're never going to bring 100% of your people over. You're never going to bring 50% of your people over. If you do, congratulations, and please send me a message because I would love to know how you did it. But chances are they're just going to continuously shop on the same websites they've been using for weeks, months, probably even years for the most part. Now, there is a chance that if you ship out your order and you put in a business card, maybe it has your YouTube channel or your website on it, maybe 1 in every 10, 1 in every 20 will hit, and you'll get a chance that someone will at least go to your pages, right? The problem with that is they're not required to buy anything. They may go there and they may look at it and they'd be like, not for me. So that's another problem you're going to have to deal with. And selling singles is possible, but you need to figure out how to do it in the right way. And that goes all the way back to picking up collections. How do you pick up collections in this day and age, right? Everybody knows what they've got. Nobody wants any lowballs. Everyone wants to sell it for market price or higher, no matter who it is. There's 2 main ways to pick up collections or pick up cards in this day and age at a price that's below market. And it requires some work. One requires more work than the other for sure. Starting off with Facebook Marketplace, definitely the best lazy option to pick up cards. And I say lazy just because you can do it from anywhere. You can do it from your phone while you're laying in bed. You can do it while you're out at a dinner. You can do it anywhere you want. And lazy by no means is a derogatory term here. I have done it and I will continue to do it myself. It just takes a lot of effort in terms of communicating. There are a lot of people who you'll send a message to and they'll run you through the whole circle, and then they'll get to the end and be like, I don't actually want to sell it for 70 to 80%. I don't want to do that. And you can't really pick cards up at 85% because then your margins are gone if you pick it up at 85%. So knowing how to navigate Facebook Marketplace, especially in this day and age, will be your greatest success tool. And if you guys want, I can make a video on it and show you exactly how to do it. I've done it a few times now very successfully. I've picked up probably close to $10,000 in cards at this point through Facebook Marketplace at around 60 to 80%, anywhere in those ranges, depending on the deal. But it's hard. It's definitely not easy, and it definitely takes time. And the one piece of advice that I'll give you in this video is you have to be upfront. Just tell them, hey, I need to pick up this collection at around this value. I have a little bit of wiggle room, and try to work with them as best you can. A little bit of effort goes a long way for sure when you're trying to pick these things up. But you'll know very quickly if they want to sell or they don't want to sell. And if they don't, just say thank you very much, I appreciate your time, and move on to the next. Now, the other way to pick up collections is vending shows. Now, you might be thinking, I've seen vending videos, it looks like people just sell cards there. Well, it's true, but that's only half of it. If you're lucky enough, people will come up to your table with their own collections and they'll ask if you're buying. Now, if you're buying and you're open to it, you can pretty much almost always make a deal. But the one thing that you have to know is that it may not be the best percentage, right? It may be around 80 to 85%. It may be a little bit higher in terms of percentage, but it's also a good way to build your base of customers and show that you are a human in this space, as opposed to I'm buying at 70%, not 70%. No, I won't pick it up, right? It's important to kind of work with people. That's what the hobby's all about. People want to offload their cards, or people want to trade their cards in. Maybe you have something that they want. Maybe they have something that you want. That's what this whole hobby was built upon. And I think it's really important to not let those grassroots go anywhere. I think it's probably the most important thing. At the end of the day, if you show that you're interested in, helping people out, they're going to want to come back. That's how it works. Now, I haven't been doing this for very long, but the people that I have helped out, I'm getting them to come back as return customers. And I think that's one of the most important things to do, especially if you want to be successful in this space. You need to make sure that you're continuing to grow not only your fan base, but your customer base. That's really the most important thing. I actually recently went to a show, and there were good vendors and there were bad vendors. And when you're walking around a show, I'm sure if any of you have gone to a show, you'll know. Every time you go there, there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. And you see a bad vendor, you're not going to spend much time at their table, and you're probably not going to buy anything from them either. If you remember a good vendor, you're going to go back to them, especially if you see them at another show. You already have an established rapport. It's important to do that with the customer base because they are what keeps you afloat at the end of the day. Is there anything else that I can be doing to grow my business? Well, yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm staring at myself in a camera right now. Content is the new wave and has been the new wave for the past 5 to 10 years of pretty much everything, pretty much every business. Fortunately, a lot of people still aren't capitalizing on this. And honestly, I wasn't either until now. Here I am sitting in front of a camera talking to you guys. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, more businesses, even mainstream businesses, will continue to go down this path, and this trend will just continue because people want to see a friendly, smiling face in front of a camera. It makes us as business owners or shop owners or vendors or engineers or whatever you're doing in your day-to-day life, it makes you feel more approachable. And at the end of the day, it's only going to benefit you. Content is very, very important. Creating YouTube videos is very important. Doing short form content is very important. I think it's probably the most important thing to do in this day and age if you want to start a business, especially in a hobby market like this. People love to watch human interaction. People love to watch the day-to-day life of what you're doing. Listen, if you want to be like me or more successful than me, right? I'm very small. I don't claim to have any sort of success. I've done hundreds of hours of research. I've watched tons and tons of videos, hours upon hours of videos of people who are more successful than me. And not only am I relaying their information, but things that I've seen in my time doing this, which isn't very long, right? But it will be. It'll continue to get longer, and the more time I put into this, the better information I'll be able to give you guys. And I hope that you guys stick around. And if you guys are interested in doing what I do, maybe at a higher scale, right? Well, get in front of a camera, start talking, and grow your fan base. Because at the end of the day, if you grow your fan base, you'll grow your customer base. And if you grow your customer base, you'll grow your fan base. If you do both of those things, you'll end up being able to stay in this hobby for a very long time. You'll make enough money to sustain yourself and continue to move forward, which at the end of the day is pretty much the ultimate goal, to have a self-sustaining business. I hope that everything that I said in this video at least makes some sort of sense. And if it doesn't, and you have another question, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to answer. And I wish you luck if you're entering the space. It's definitely not an easy space to get into. There's definitely a lot of small nuances that you have to work around, but hard work and perseverance are the biggest things, and content is going to be your best friend. So I wish you luck, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want. If not, I can't hold you to it. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.